What's going on, Washington fans? We have our last pick of the 2023 NFL Draft. I'm Josh Taylor here on Taking Command with Josh Taylor. And in the 7th round, I've gone through every single pick so far, just giving my thoughts and quick analysis. And as I've mentioned, I will go through every single pick with a more in-depth breakdown with film, kind of scheme fits, all that good stuff. Production, kind of just looking at these guys a little bit closer through a microscope. We're just focusing, dissecting their game. It's coming. But with the last pick, we go with a guy that actually didn't know who he was. To be honest with you, this is kind of a surprise to me, especially after going KJ Henry. We go with an outside linebacker, more of an edge kind of player. That is Andre Jones out of Louisiana Lafayette. So another Raging Cajun. And to be honest with you, the only time I've really watched ULL is they've had some good defenses over the last few years. And then last year, after getting Percy Butler, I went back, watched the tape, and that's probably the only time I've seen Andre Jones play. So I'm adding that to my list of things to do. I have some all 22 of their defense. I'm going to start going through that, taking a look at everything. But the thing with Andre Jones, and there's a couple things to note on him. This is what PFF's little bio has of him, and then I'll read the one that Washington puts out on him. So PFF says that Jones is a long edge rusher, 6'5". That's a big dude. 6'5" with 34-inch arms, who has delivered a 70-plus PFF pass rushing grade and at least 30 pressures in each of the last 2 seasons. So he's a huge dude. He's producing at ULL Lafayette with the Raging Cajuns under good defense. He's experienced with nearly 2,500 defensive snaps across 6 college seasons. That's wild to me. So I was like, how old is this guy? I want to learn a little bit more about him. So this is what the Washington PR put out about him. Like I said, 6'5", 248, 34-inch arms. He's a straight up unit. And he looks big too. I saw the video of him walk around and stuff. The dude looks like a straight unit. Like I said, played in 65 games with 46 starts for Louisiana and recorded 209 total tackles, 30 tackles for loss, 17 and a half sacks, and 8 pass breakups. So another guy kind of like KJ who can get that big paw up and break down some passes. Even if you don't get the sack, if you don't get to the quarterback, you're still breaking up the play, which is good. Earned Sun Belt All-Conference second-team honors in 2022 and third-team honor in 2021. In 2022, he recorded 55 tackles, 7.5 sacks last year. So most of his production came last year. So it seems like things were clicking. He's on the rise. That's what I like to see. And 7 tackles for a loss last season. So let's pull it up a little bit and take a look at his profile a little bit more. Let's go in depth. PFF knows this guy. He was on their draft radar for a little bit. He's on the breakdown. So let's take a look, see what they have for him. So Andre Jones, the Raging Cajun. Such a good name, by the way. Good little stadium. Got family in Louisiana. Been by there before. So let's take a look at 2022. 77.2 overall grade. 7 sacks, like I mentioned. 5 hits. 20 hurries last year. 33 hurries the year before that. He's playing majority. If you look at his snaps here, majority of his snaps are outside the tackle, which is where he belongs, especially as an outside linebacker. But for me, like, I didn't know how he really fit because, we're kind of like that, traditional 4-3-ish on the line. You've got your 2 edge rushers. They're not linebackers. Like Chase very, very, very rarely, and Montez Sweat very rarely drop into coverage. But Andre Jones seems like that kind of guy that is more of an edge, not really like that outside linebacker that you would call like I don't know, like a Von Miller or something like that, like a straight up outside linebacker. For me, he's going to be an edge guy. Pass rushing grade 76.7. True pass rushing grade, it's hard to say, 81.2. So once I see these dark green numbers, the blue numbers, these are high graded players, guys who are super athletic. They're high relative athletic scores. These are straight athletes. Washington went into this draft, said we're going to draft the best ones available, whether if it's athletically, production wise, size wise, whatever, speed, PFF grades. We're going after the best of the best. And I think they really did that in this draft, to be honest with you. So far, everyone really that I've looked at has graded really high in PFF, and Andre Jones is right there with them. So he has a 15.7% pass rush win rate, 72.2 run defense grade, which is good. Guy has big arms. He should be able to get off blocks really well, at least get in there, grab some running backs. Once again, get a hold of the quarterback. I love those long arms. You can get a good stiff arm, some tackles with some shorter arms. Might have some trouble getting up under his pad level, getting up in there, getting square with them. That stiff arm can be pretty nasty. So everything I see on this guy, and from what I've done research wise, and since I've gotten home, he is 64 years old. Like I said, it's a redshirt senior, so he played a ton of college football. The thing with him, it seems like there's more to unlock in him. It seems like he's more of a project, but he's a guy who can turn out to be a really good pick. Sounds like a really good player for a guy like Ryan Kerrigan who knows what he's doing. Ryan Kerrigan, by the way, coached at the Senior Bowl. Loved watching him coach there. Got to talk to him a couple times. Y'all seen the picture on Twitter. Met him on the airplane. Talked to him for a good bit. I think from what I've seen out of Ryan Kerrigan, he looks like a natural coach. This is the kind of player who can get coached up by Ryan Kerrigan, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, a really good defensive line. I think he would fit in well. This is a guy that could rotate. And in my opinion, I mentioned this in the KJ Henry video, I think Andre Jones is the kind of guy who was like the Shaka Toney, but has more of a, with Shaka Toney, it was like, is he more of an outside linebacker, like he's going to drop into coverage, or is he more of a pass rushing kind of guy? We never really got to figure that out. And it seems like I don't think Shaka Toney will be around because of the whole gambling thing. But for me, Andre Jones kind of projects into replacing Shaka Toney. So maybe he makes a team, maybe he doesn't. We got Obata back. We still have Casey Tuchel on the other side. So for me, it's like, where does he feel comfortable playing? Where does he project on like which side of the line? But I think he's a strictly edge rusher. I don't see him dropping into coverage, especially that big with those size of arms. So whether if it is a 5-2 formation that Washington does a good bit of, and they just put him on the outside with his long arms, I think he projects to be a guy to compete at training camp and be one of these rotational edge rushers. We've got Smith Williams, we've got some deep bodies, so that's something I'm going to be watching for in mini camp and training camp. Is who's competing for that depth at edge. Like I said, if Chase or Montez get lost in the next season or two, we have KJ Henry, but we still would need to, pop out some more depth. So maybe that's what Andre Jones goes with. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from his grades. I'm liking from what I'm hearing. His size, his arm length is really good. As you know, like I said, we needed an edge rusher. I didn't think we'd go 2 of them in the draft, but it's a late 7th round pick. And from what I'm hearing from a lot of guys, like the Draft Network guys, PFF, PFN guys, they're saying Andre Jones might be one of these guys in the late rounds that plays past what he was drafted. Cam Curl was a guy taken in the 7th, and I was one of the top safeties in the league. So you just never know. You don't know what our situation is going to be like, but I like how Washington was not afraid to say, we're going to take who we think is the best guys on the board. These are the highest players on our board, and we're going to trust our gut, and we're going to go with it. The Rams did not need an interior defensive lineman when they got Aaron Donald. I'm not saying Andre Jones is going to be Aaron Donald because I don't think he is, obviously, but I'm just saying sometimes you just really draft who your gut says is going to be the best player for your team. They said that before the draft. They said, we're going to trust, everything that we've done leading up to this, especially with free agency, is allowing us to be able to do that. And I think that's what Washington did. So, Andre, welcome to the team. That is the entire 7th, the 7 rounds of the 2023 NFL draft. Holy smokes, I'm exhausted. It has been a long week. But tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some, just like a recap video because those always do big numbers, but just a recap video of all 7 rounds, just going through the picks real quick for people who just want a quick one-stop shop. They don't want to look at every single pick. Like I said, I'm going to be going through every pick for those that want a more detailed breakdown because that's the kind of guy I am. But then also some of these undrafted free agents. I'm super excited about that because if you see me on Twitter, we got my guy, I'm not going to say who, out of Penn State. That's a big hint. Love this guy, but there are some really, really sleeper picks for undrafted free agents. There's one guy who was a big-time first-team All-Big Ten defensive player, but has some injuries that really set him back. So there's some guys I'm really taking a look at right now with these undrafted free agents that I'm keeping a close eye on. So appreciate y'all checking out all of these videos for every single pick for the 2023 NFL draft. Everyone that's been contributing and supporting through this offseason, it's been crazy, but we're not even close to done. I have so much planned for this offseason. More videos of Bleacher Report, more videos on here, building up the Patreon, more graphics for y'all, any kind of video request. Guys, I am not stopping. We are so high on momentum right now. I'm not slowing down. We're just getting started. So I appreciate y'all so much, more than you know. I saw a lot of y'all at the Harbor today at the draft party, and it was just good to finally put some faces to Twitter names and profile pictures, and just talk and connect with people. So I can't thank y'all enough. This has been a great draft. I really like this class. Let me know what y'all think. and I'll see y'all next time. I'll take command with Josh Taylor. Peace.